Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Charla.
And I'm Christy. Welcome today because today's a talker. We're going to tell you about some recipes. And
Sorta. This is just for fun. This video is just for fun.
So if you're new here, you're going to get to know us a little bit, and you'll find out that we talk a lot about this because we love this, and we do this a lot, and everybody that we tell loves it and wants to do it.
And people want their own supper club.
It's supper club, and people, after we tell you about it, you will want to set up your own supper club.
So it's been over 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We have a supper club where there's 4 couples. So it's myself and my husband, Christy and her husband, and then 2 other couples. And we meet once a month. And there were a few, there's a chunk of time where we didn't meet every month because there was this pesky little pandemic thing happening.
What a terrible
But
thing.
I have to tell you, and this is freezer meal related, actually. The first month that we were supposed to be meeting, and it was our turn to host. So we're
the edict had come down. Do not leave your houses. Do not go outside. Do not meet with other people. And we're like, what?
So we actually, one of our sons delivered freezer meals to every house.
Yes.
So it was the same meal. Now Christy and I do freezer meals together once every 3 months, enough to last the whole time. So we had our freezers stocked.
We felt very confident going into that pandemic that we would eat.
Yeah,
we would at least eat for 3 months.
We knew we weren't gonna starve for 3 months.
And stuff was going bare on the grocery store shelves, but we were like, okay, we're okay for a bit.
And so I phoned you and I was like, what, do you have this meal left? Yeah, two of them. And so one of Christy's, she cooked up, and one of hers went to somebody else, and then anyway, whatever. The point is,
we all had the same meal.
4 of the same meal.
What was it?
I feel like it was chili lime tilapia, but I don't totally remember.
Did we take pictures and put it in the club?
No, because we were on Zoom.
We did a Zoom, but no screenshots to see what we ate?
I think I have a shot of my husband and I eating and the computer there as we ate. I think I have that shot. So I'll put that shot in if I have it. I'm pretty sure I do. Anyway, we had a Zoom supper club during the pandemic, and then we missed a few months because, it just was what it was. But we did use freezer meals in that. So we've been meeting for 3 years. We take turns hosting. And when it's your turn to host, you take care of everything. You do the planning, the cooking, the cleanup, the drinks, the everything. Nobody brings anything, which is really nice when you're just showing up. Because 3 months out of 4, you just show up.
You just show up. And the other rule is no kids, unless you're hosting and your own children are there. That's allowed.
Yeah.
But that part's really nice too. The rest of us,
it's like adult conversation.
One couple still needs to get a sitter. Otherwise, it's great. It has been really great.
It's like a really nice opportunity. It's fun, but we have done themes. So
we don't always do themes, and everybody's a different kind of cook. I'm a real meat and potatoes kind of cook, and so I don't often do a theme, but I've done Italian.
You did Chinese hot pot.
Japanese hot pot.
Oh, Japanese hot pot.
Mm-hmm. I've done Mexican. I did Greek last time because we had the shawarma.
Did. Yeah, and that was so good.
Yeah, so I guess I do themes, but we've talked about this once before in our hamburger patties, and we'll put a video up here of this other supper club that this couple did a theme, and it took us forever to guess the theme. We're sitting in their house and we still didn't know the theme, and what it was If I Had $1 Million by the Bare Naked Ladies. And so go check out that video. We talk about it pretty extensively.
Yeah, we've got a lot of
we do get to the hamburger
photos
patties
in that video, but it was great.
It was really great. So we did a theme last week, and it was Charla's turn to host, her and her husband's turn to host, and we did kind of go all out for this one.
It was so fun. And so we're just sharing it with you because we talk about Supper Club in lots of our freezer meal videos.
And people are interested. So we're telling you about it.
We're just going to show you how this night was so super fun. So we did a 70s theme and people went all out.
This time, people took it very seriously. I sewed a dress and a matching vest for my husband out of curtain material that I found at the thrift store. And I paid $6 for it. I found a pattern for $2. And I already had a vest pattern at home because I sew, and I had one for my husband, a Halloween costume a long time ago.
And her dress even had like the wood buttons.
It had the wood buttons, and it matched his wood buttons on his costume. It didn't fit me super great. I feel like it looked a little bit like a gunny sack. But
no, it was great.
It was really fun and super 70s. Really cute.
And we both straightened our hair, because as you can see, we have curly hair, but we both straightened our hair.
And so did the two other ladies.
Yes.
One has fairly straight hair anyway, but the other one, she has curly hair. She straightened her hair.
Yeah, and we did the like blue eyeshadow makeup.
Yes.
And, but the thing about Supper Club is usually the food is really, really, really delicious. Like, we put effort.
A lot of effort.
Into making the food really
good. And
good.
there's some dietary restrictions happening in our group that really make you put in some effort, which is kind of okay. You get creative and
you get new ideas.
You get new ideas, and nobody's ever gone home hungry. Nobody's ever gone home and said,
No, but this was one time where the food was the star in a different way, but not so much because it was delicious.
Charlotte is an ideas person, if you don't know. That's why we have, a whole website and a YouTube channel and a Freezer Meals Club. If you don't know about it, you should check out the link below. And because she's an ideas person, she's creative, and so she puts these ideas out there, and then we do it. And so the food was creative.
Yeah, okay, so we did,
and it was good. It was delicious.
So I made for the desserts, I'll start the reverse, but for the desserts, I made pineapple upside down cupcakes, and they were okay. They weren't fantastic, but whatever. They were on theme, and then it took me 2 days to make these rainbow Jello cups because you have to go layer by layer, and you let one layer set before you can do the next layer. So anyway, those were more of a hit with our kids than with the people, but they were very on theme.
I didn't even have an upside down pineapple cupcake, partly because I was really full, and there is always room for Jello. But also, I think I would just really prefer the Jello. And we had Cool Whip for it, like good old Cool Whip. It was awesome
because it's from the 70s, right?
Totally.
Like everything, and so then. For the other thing, Jello was kind of abundant. Like, if you're not a Jello fan, you probably would not have liked the food.
There were several other dishes that contained Jello or gelatin of some sort.
Another rainbow Jello salad. Then I attempted to make a Jello salad in a bundt pan. I was moderately successful. Christy was telling me beforehand, like, you have to have that white layer.
The white layer that you make with sweetened condensed milk and gelatin. And she's like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
you did it,
I figured
and it was
awesome. Google is your friend when you're planning a themed dinner party. So we had the Jello salad. And now, salad was used loosely in the 70s.
It really was.
Salad described a great many things, and it should have been desserts, but these were like salads. So we had an ambrosia salad. So that is mini marshmallows, Cool Whip, coconut, maraschino cherries. Maraschino cherries also quite
very
prolific
70s.
In the 70s. Mandarin orange segments, pineapple. The 70s were apparently very influenced by Hawaii, and so pineapple was very present.
Very present.
In our dinner party.
That's when people started to really travel to Hawaii for vacation.
And they would bring back
a pineapple because we didn't see them a lot in stores in northern Alberta growing up,
No. So, I remember my aunt and uncle coming back from Hawaii and bringing us a pineapple. So, okay, for the rest of the food, we did have 3 things that could be a freezer meal. One was meatloaf. My husband made it, and he did not make it as a freezer meal, but we make meatloaf as freezer meals all the time.
Yep.
So that could have been a freezer meal. We did make the Swedish meatballs from a freezer meal, and that's one of our pretty common things to have in the freezer. So that was just able to pull it out and throw it in the oven, and that was done.
Yeah.
And
it was good.
It was
good.
Yeah. And then a salmon ball, which you can totally make a head. I have made a head frozen, and
And what is more 70s than a salmon ball?
Well, the
Except
only
for
thing
maybe
that
a
would
ham
be
ball.
more 70s than a salmon ball is a salmon ball in the shape of a salmon.
Oh, right. That was a thing.
But I didn't do that. But I did do the little tiny skewers on toothpicks that have nothing to do with each other.
Much.
Like, they are like, there's a maraschino cherry and an onion and
the
a
pickled onion,
like,
and the gherkins.
All the totally had gherkins, and so we did that. But we also did with toothpicks the hedgehog. So it is a
super cute
cheese and pineapple hedgehog with olives for the nose and eyes. My mom happened to stop by while I was preparing this food, and she's like, "Oh, do you have a cabbage for in there?" Because she remembers literally making these in the 70s, and they
would cover the cabbage with the foil.
Yes! And so I was just trying to shape a hedgehog out of foil because I did not know about the cabbage head that was supposed to go inside, and I didn't have a cabbage head.
And think about what a cabbage head would have cost in the 70s. Like 50 cents? $1?
Well, that's a lot to just waste, like, unless you shred it the next day and use it for something. But anyway, so I did not have a cabbage in my hedgehog, but other than that, it's authentic. And then we had we also had toothpicks and our bacon wrapped pineapple and water chestnuts.
I never got a pineapple one.
I didn't either.
It's okay.
You couldn't really tell which was which, so you just kind of picked up a bacon wrapped something and guessed.
And I think the bacon wrapped water chestnuts, we could freeze those. Have you ever tried?
I have not.
But I bet you could.
I do the bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers and freeze them.
They're in the club.
But yes, they are.
Yeah.
But I have not done the bacon wrapped water chestnuts. We make them all the time.
Yeah, we'll have to do an appetizer video.
Do an experiment. I also had a 3-bean salad because bean salads were popular.
She had cheese fondue, and it was delicious.
Cheese fondue, yes.
And it was good.
Cheese fondue is always good.
Yes. And in her research, she discovered chocolate fondue wasn't a super big thing. The cheese fondue was where it was at.
Yep.
Yeah.
And chocolate fondue became a bigger thing later. So if we do an 80s theme in the future, you might see a chocolate fondue there.
Yes.
We had little mini quiches because specifically quiche Lorraine was popular in the 70s.
I did not know that.
So
I did have some quiches. I didn't know the background.
We did ants on a log. I'm allergic to celery, so I didn't eat any, but we did them with peanut butter and raisins, so celery with peanut butter and raisins.
Yeah.
However, they also were quite popular with
Cheese Whiz
or
no raisins if you do the Cheese Whiz.
And olives.
Oh.
Apparently was an ants on a log thing.
Yep.
I remember my mom making us ants on a log when I was a kid, and yeah, I mean, it's a thing.
It's totally a thing.
And okay, what else did we have? Oh, my aunts have been making this forever. Oh, and I should mention the salmon ball recipe that I used was literally like from the 70s that my cousin wrote out for me, who made it in the 70s all the time. So, and then my aunts always made these like little mini cocktail wieners in maple syrup.
Yes.
And so we did that as well.
On a toothpick, with the little thing of toothpicks there. You could grab them.
Yeah, everything is toothpicks. And I mean, hot dogs were ever present.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking up food from the 70s, hot dogs are used in a variety of ways, and they sometimes shape.
I'm going to go back to the Jell-O for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I said, you're going to make an aspic. And she's like, I don't know what an aspic is. So what she discovered is an aspic is a Jell-O salad that you would make in a gelatin form, like in a pan. But it's only an aspic if it's got a tomato base in it.
Yeah, so tomato
Jellied
aspic.
tomato. Yay! Tomato
So,
aspic.
I chose to not make an aspic, and same with like the salmon in the shape of the salmon. I just
You could do a jellied salmon, right?
Yeah.
Or
in the shape of, and I just couldn't go there. I was like, I can do the hedgehog, like it's cute, and it was like, but the salmon, I felt like we might end up wasting that food, and I couldn't go there. Okay, so I did have plans to make a few more things, but we didn't. For drinks, we had punch with sorbet on top, like, you know, the floating balls of sorbet, and we did rainbow.
And because then it goes foamy, right?
Yes.
Because when it mixes with the carbonated stuff, it goes frothy on top.
And that was a thing.
Super 70s. Although, I'll admit, I had never actually seen that until I was early 2000s for me. I don't know why. I don't know why that was always missed for me.
And then we did tequila sunrises. I didn't like them, actually. But whatever. Anyway, I hadn't had one before, and they're pretty.
They're very pretty. and if you skip the tequila, it's just a Shirley Temple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's, you know, and I like Shirley Temples. So I guess it's the tequila part that I didn't like. And then
you know what? Your second or third tequila always tastes better than your first tequila. I think that's how tequila is supposed to work.
I didn't get that far, right?
Yeah.
And then we did grasshoppers as like a dessert drink, and so
that's right.
is like creme de coco, creme de menthe, and cream, like whipping creams. It's very like
very
heavy,
rich and heavy,
very rich,
and very sweet.
You're supposed to dye the cream green so that it's a green drink, but my husband, who is like the unofficial bartender at these parties, he could not bring himself to do it. He was just like, why do we need extra food coloring? And like, let's just let them use their imaginations. And I'm like, but it's more 70s.
And it's called a grasshopper.
Yeah, like
so,
he just
but
couldn't
I
do
do think that there is creme de menthe out there that is green.
I think you could be right, because the ones that I saw online didn't say anything about the food coloring.
So I think you can buy green creme de menthe, and maybe you just
mine was clear.
Didn't find it that day.
So anyway,
maybe they stopped making it because it was just
green
green
people
food.
Were grossed out. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
isn't that funny?
So we had the drinks. We had a prize draw for a lava lamp because we used lava lamp as decoration, but really. We had a playlist going that was all 70s music, and my husband had curated it. It was a really good playlist. It was
fun.
So much fun. And I think it was like just the costumes and everybody getting like really
And you guys went out on your costumes too. She borrowed a dress from her daughter, who was a little on the bohemian side anyway, so it worked perfectly.
This one daughter of mine, my middle daughter, she like came into the world as a hippie. Like, I just, right?
Yes.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. But
I think she just finally started wearing shoes because she's in high school, but you know.
She is like barefoot, summer, winter, spring, fall. Like, she is barefoot all the time. Doesn't matter how cold it is.
Yeah.
She climbs trees. She is like, she would, when she was little and I would buy her clothes for her and, you know, I would pick them, she would find a way to make whatever I got like bohemian and hippie in some way. And like her favorite pants as a kid were these leggings that had this really funky pattern, and they were bell-bottom leggings.
They were too different from Rachel's pants.
Totally.
That she wore to
the 70s party.
Yeah,
like
it was so funny.
And so this daughter of mine has these clothes, and the necklace that I wore, which is like a peace sign necklace made out of wood stuff.
Yeah.
It's hers. Like, this is just her.
She just went to her closet.
So that's all.
And her husband ordered something online, and it had the big wide collar. You'll see it in the pictures, but the big wide collar and the orange jacket and the flashy shirt. Here's the funny part. That's all one piece. It was all just thrown together as one top, and he's like, I can't even take my jacket off.
And he got so hot, but he couldn't do anything about it, and he grew a mustache.
There was some interesting facial hair happening.
Yeah, one of the guys did, what's that called when they have
the mutton chops? A little?
Yeah.
Yes. And he had the handlebar mustache with the mutton chops. And he's normally a beard guy anyway. He will let it really go till he's like biker level.
But
beard.
he went all out for this. I mean, he groomed specifically for the 70s.
Yes, and they shopped. Okay, here's something interesting about their outfits, they shop for these clothes in stores that were currently selling current clothes.
Yes, they did.
They bought them from, I think, mostly Urban Planet. The pants are corduroy, but they look patchy. His shirt was just white with color, like dark colored top stitching, so it looked pretty 70s. The shirt that she's wearing is actually a dress, but when she had already put the pants on and then she put the dress on over top of it, she's like, actually, this is kind of great.
This works.
And they were off the shelf in 2022.
And I do not have a picture of his shoes, but oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. He got them at the thrift store and they matched so perfectly. He said they were a little tight. He wouldn't probably wear them again, but I'm glad it was the thrift store. But my goodness. And then the other couple.
And she had white.
Oh, the white boots.
Like with the chunky heel.
Yes.
They were so 70s.
So 70s.
Yeah.
And then the last couple, here's the funny part. He's wearing, you can't see it in the picture very well, but his shirt actually had quite a bit of shimmer to it. It was very flashy, very, the Staying Alive vibe. But the funniest part was he would whip it off and he had this black tank top underneath and he looked like Freddie Mercury and it was his wife's. That was so funny. And she had a beautiful dress and with her hair straightened, they were just so 70s.
And the sequined.
Oh, the sequin jacket.
Yes.
That's right. And I'm like, did you just have that? And she said,
yeah.
Was it from a costume though?
No,
it was she had a sequin jacket, long sequin jacket. They were flashy. It was really, really funny. My goodness, it was fun.
So that is our latest supper club theme, whatever.
The shenanigans.
It was just fun and really had nothing to do with freezer meals. You could make 3 of those ahead as a freezer meal if you wanted, and that could make that day easier. But really, this is not about freezer meals. This is just about
getting to know us a little bit.
This thing that we do, that other people we know have started supper clubs in their area. You just invite some couples over, you host, you have a chance to talk about things without interruptions from your kids and just like get to know each other. You always get to know each other better around food. It's just fun. It's nice to have something to look forward to and like dress up for.
And we're committed to it. Like,
yes,
we have rearranged things to make it happen. It's very seldom that somebody misses supper club. We make it happen.
One half of one couple miss one time.
Yeah, and sometimes my husband has had to leave early because he does shift work, so we make it work. Or he's just so tired
that he goes to sleep at your house.
Sleep at our house, like he's just gone, and he's like, oh, he went to bed. But,
Yeah.
And so one other thing we'll mention that in January we go out for supper at a restaurant. So we do it one time a year, and what this does is it offsets us for the year because there's 4 couples, which divides nicely into 12 months. You would have March every single time, but maybe you want to have April or May or June, and by doing the January restaurant, then it does offset, so you don't have to have the same month every time. You get a little bit of variety.
It's nice because sometimes if you have, like, we live in Canada, so we don't have a lot of summer months, and you've had like an outdoor.
We've had some outdoor ones,
and we've had another of the couples have had an outdoor. Actually, everybody but us has had an outdoor one.
That's right.
And so, if you get a summer month, then you have that opportunity to have an outdoor one. So maybe we'll get a summer month and we'll do that.
No, you won't.
No, we don't.
She's not an outside eater.
No, I don't love it.
And that's okay. That's fine.
We've had it where, like, we kind of could theme it around Christmas or Valentine's Day or, those kind of things.
Totally.
And so it's nice when you offset the months a little bit. Now, the other tip I'm going to give you if you want to start a supper club is that we chose ours based on the men. Because in our experience, women can talk and they can get to know each other.
A little more relational.
And, yeah. And I mean, that's a generalization. It's not true across the board, but generally, women can like talk and keep conversations going. Ooh, the first one we ever had, we had conversation starters because people didn't know each other.
We didn't really know each other.
And that one, it started at 7. People were gone by like 9 or 9:30. Now it starts at 7 and it's like 11 midnight.
Yeah. because we've gotten to know each other.
And we can chat, and we can, you know, and sometimes the men will go off and into one room and be talking about cars and like
it's
whatever.
It's very stereotypical, but it really does happen.
It really does.
Funny.
And then other times it's like one couple gets into a really deep conversation with another couple, and the other people are just still small talking, and you know, like it's very natural now. It flows. But that first time we did have conversation starters. But anyway, back to the thing about picking with the men in mind. My husband and I are the ones that started it, and so we sat down and we're like, okay, who do we know? And let's, like, this guy has this in common with this guy, so they could probably talk about this and they would have this commonality, and so let's try it this way.
Right.
And so,
I think that's been very helpful, and it's worked pretty well.
Yeah. And we're not, like, we have similarities with the people, but they're not, other than, you know, the two of us are, like, we see each other all the time anyway. But the other couples we don't see as much outside of supper club, but it's just really nice to have this thing that we do that we can always look forward to and have a night out. And and then with my husband, it's like afterwards we get, like, it was like a date night, and when it's our turn to host, it's kind of this whole date day, because we go and we do the shopping together, we make the food together, we play music while we're making the food, we plan it together, like we'll talk,
and even the
about
cleaning up. It's all part of it.
So it's just nice. It's added a lot into our lives, and that's why we like to talk about it too, is because
it really has
enriched our lives.
Yes. And there are people that we know that we all know, all four of us couples know, that they're like, when are you taking other people? Like, when can we get into the supper club?
Yeah, when are you doing applications?
And one of the couples had an extended holiday, and so we were like, what do we do? Do we just, the three of us? Because they were gone for months. And we're like, do just the three couples meet? Do we audition other couples and see if they, you know, we start at their house, and if they can cook, then maybe we'll let them in. But, you know, we just did it, the three couples, and it was great. And then the other couple came back, and we're the four happy couples
picked up
again.
where we left off.
It's been so good.
It's true. It is something where other people are like, if you ever have an opening.
It's true.
Like, we want to be first in. And
true.
There is one couple that we invited who said, like, initially, who said no because they had some time commitment issues, and they regret it. So anyway,
we still see them sometimes.
We still love them. It's all good. But if you want to just, like, add something fun into your life and just whatever, this is just an idea.
And it doesn't have to be themed, and it doesn't have to be fantastic. And I've totally bought desserts because there was a time in my life while I'm hosting and I got a lot going on. I'm not making tiramisu
from scratch.
I went and bought a cake, you know, and that's okay. It is okay. And if things were flat out, I know recently we put up a video where we were talking about some of the hardships that are going on in Charlotte's life and in my life. And sometimes you aren't able to pull something out of the freezer. Really, if you just ordered pizza or Chinese food, that's not the point. The point is the getting together. And if you needed to do it once or twice, it would be forgiven, because the point is the getting together. So use your freezer meals, cook from scratch, order it in. It doesn't matter. Theme or no theme, it doesn't matter. Just make a point of getting together and keeping that commitment, and it will really enrich your life.
So thanks for joining us today for this just fun, weird off video that has nothing to do with freezer meals.
Totally.
So we'll put the Swedish meatballs link down below too, in case you also want to host a 70s theme dinner party.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're new around here, sorry we didn't actually cook anything or make anything for you, but you got to know us a little better. Hit subscribe, hit like, and check out our club and check out our Facebook page. We'd love to see you over there.